Yeah, there we go. Now it's legally binding. We've been informed. So how many of you guys struggle to get new leads every month? Just quick show of hands. I think just about everybody, right? What if I told you there was a way that you could use a resource you're already probably carrying around in your wallet or purse to find new leads just about anywhere in the United States? Would you think I was crazy?
We know you are.
Okay, well, darn, but V3, you're taking all the suspense away. So, guys, the resource that I'm talking about this morning is available through most libraries throughout the United States. So, here in
Uh-oh.
Central Indiana, if you have a library card with the Indianapolis Public Library, Carmel Clay Public Libraries, Hamilton County, Johnson County Public Libraries, you can access this for free, no additional money. And what you can do with it is you can go and you can find leads that fit exactly the parameters you're looking for. And it's called Data Axle. So let's get that pulled up on the screen. Quick thumbs up or hand. Everyone could see my screen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, like I said, the only thing that you need to access this database is a library card. Your tax dollars already pay for this wonderful app that you can use. Now, I will say, with any database, there is always going to be some room for errors. So take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But the more specific that you are with the leads you're looking for, the more likely you are to get a winner each time. So there's a couple of ways that we could use this database. I'm going to start first with our friends here that are business to business organizations. So you serve other businesses, you provide them incredible value, and you need to know how to find them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look up US businesses and we're going to click on search. Now, this is the main page of Data Axle once you get logged in with your library card number. So just remember, when you go to access this, you need two things available to you. Number one, your library card. And number two, the link where your library connects to it. You do not have to sit at a library to access it. You can, in fact, get to it anywhere you have an internet connection. So let's go ahead and search our US businesses. Now, by default, it allows you to do a quick search. So if you know the name of the company or the executive name or owner's name that you want to look for, great. You can use the quick search. But we're going to explore the advanced search feature here. This is something where in Inspiresmall.biz events, I always tell people when you're explaining the type of people you work with, you have to be specific about them. The more specific in any scenario you can be about who you want to talk to, the better quality results you're going to get. So, what I mean by that is, let's say you have a particular industry you're interested in talking to. So we're going to scroll down to where we see business type and we're going to search major industry group. And that's going to give us a new menu here. So these are all of the different types of industries that you can find records for. So you have agriculture, forestry, and fishing, mining, construction, manufacturing, transportation, wholesale distributors, retail trade. Our favorite category here, finance, insurance, and real estate professionals, services, public administration, and non-classified establishments. So for the purpose of keeping us on a timely schedule, I'm going to go through the process of what I personally use to find new leads using Data Axle here. So I'm going to expand on the services category, and you'll see here inside of services that you have hotels, personal services, business services, auto repair, miscellaneous repair. Personally, for my business, I do really well with searching for business service organizations and then scrolling all the way down to business services NEC, which is non-classified. But you'll see inside of here that you have like advertising agencies, credit reporting services, commercial photography, medical equipment, rental, and leasing. So, whatever types of businesses you work best with, you can check this box. Now, I've gone ahead and I've checked business services NEC. And if I scroll back up here, you'll see that there's a record count that they have. So, total across the board in their database, in the entire United States, there are 341,687 records that are business services, but that's the entire country. We want to fine tune that down. So we're going to scroll down here to geography. Since leads are generally best suited to where we are working, let's go ahead and let's search by zip code because zip codes are pretty easy to manage. So, how many of you are on the north side of Indy or the Carmel Fishers area? Plenty of you, right? So, let's go ahead and start with a familiar zip code that we know we're going to have a ton of results in, and that's going to be 46032, which is one of the two zip codes available in Carmel, Indiana. And if we scroll back up here and click Update Count, well, now there's 118 records in zip code 46032 that are business services non-classified. Now, 100 or so leads is not too unmanageable, but let's fine tune that even further down. So we could look at the size of the business, since I know many of you depend on being able to find leads that have so many employees available to them. So let's go ahead and click on that. And we're going to scroll down and you'll see the option for how many employees that organization has. So, Pavithri, since you like to pick on me, I'm going to pick on you. Tell me how many employees is the absolute floor that you're able to work with?
10.
10? Okay. So let's choose this 10 to 19, 20 to 49, and 50 to 99. So functionally anywhere between 10 and 99 employees. Let's go back up and update our count. And now you'll see we have 21. So that's a lot more manageable. But let's look at other things that we can check out here. So, ownership structure, is it a public or a privately held business? Public meaning, are there stocks being traded, or privately, does it mean individual people own the business? You can look for a headquarters or a branch. Now, this is very helpful for businesses that have multiple locations. So, if we were to select that and scroll down here, you'll see, do we want the headquarters? Do we want a branch of a business, a subsidiary, or a single location? So, this is useful if you're trying to find the owner of a business. So, you could hit single location or headquarter because both of those would get us access to the person who owns that business. And now let's update our count again. Now we're down to 14. So one last thing we want to look at here, we can go under special selects. We can look for businesses that are federal contractors, so businesses that are doing business with the United States government. We could also back under the ownership here, if you're interested in finding businesses based out of the home, you can select that. Are they a female or a veteran-owned business, or are they minority-owned? So if you're trying to find businesses owned by those types of folks, you can select them. So once we have all of the parameters plugged in that we need, we're going to scroll up and click on View Results. And it's going to take it a moment to generate, but these are all of the businesses in zip code 46032 that fit our criteria. So we have the 502 East Event Center. I believe we're all familiar with that business. It looks like we have a law firm. It looks like a consulting business and some jewelers and some pool companies. So there's a couple of things that we can do with this. We can click around and we can view on the website. And that's okay if we're looking at leads one at a time. So let's go ahead and pick on one. Let's do the
Hey, Ryan.
502. Yes, ma'am.
They don't give you the email on these, right? They just give you phone numbers.
That's correct. And I'll show you in just a moment how to locate an email address for a business. Excuse me. So as we click on the business, we see the phone number. We scroll down and we see their industry profile. So their SIC code, which classifies them as a special events center, and their NAICS, which is North American Industry Code, promoters of performing arts. We could scroll down. How many employees do they have? 25. What's their location sales volume? It looks like a little over 2.5 million. When was the record last updated? This is an important one to look at because information changes from time to time. So you want to make sure the record you're looking at has been updated relatively recently. So September of 2025 is not all that long ago. So we know this information is probably pretty good. And then if we look at the management directory, we see Joe here is their manager. And if we scroll down further, we could look at what type of business expenditures does this company have. So, for example, accounting every year, they're spending between $5,000 and $10,000. Legal counsel between $10,000 and $25,000. Office supplies and equipment over $100,000. Payroll and benefits $500,000 to $1 million. So we know that this business has some serious bucks to play with. So we could scroll down further and we can look. Here's their business filing history on the website. So if we look at their sales volume by year, it looks pretty darn consistent. So we know this business is relatively healthy. So this is definitely a business that we are going to want to follow up with. So we know it's the 502 East Event Center. So we want to get an email address for them, right? Because it's easier than giving them a call. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pop open a new tab and we're going to say 502 Event Center and see what we get. So we look on the right side and we have their business website. So we could go over here. If Google will allow us, there we go. And so we're going to browse their website to find an email address. Now, we don't want this pop-up that came here. So there's a couple of places that I always look on a website for an email address. And more times than not, it's going to be in one of two places. Number one, it's either going to be in the footer of the website. So in this case, if we scroll all the way down, boom, we have an email address. hello@experiencebirds.com. So now we've got an email address. So between Data Axle, where we know the person we're looking for, his name is Joe Manship, and now we have an email address for them. So we're going to collect that email address. And now you can log that into whatever system you use to reach out to prospects. Now, what kind of message do you send to that person? Keep in mind, these are people you have not talked to previously. So whatever email that you send this person needs to be an emphasis of the value you bring them. Remember, you're competing with hundreds of other emails this person likely gets every day, so it better be good. So focus that first contact email on what value is this person going to get by interacting with you. So Pavithri, since I know you pretty well, I'm going to pick on you for a second. That first value needs to be, I can help you navigate complex regulation that changes almost daily, and I can keep the government out of your business by complying with the law. Keep it to where, what do they get out of communicating with you? Don't give them a whole bunch of extra unnecessary info. Just keep it short and sweet. This is what I could do for you, and how would you like to follow up with them? Do you want to schedule a time to stop in their business and meet them? Do you want to invite them for coffee? Do you want to set up an online meeting? Whatever that is, short and sweet. What do you do for them? And what's the next step to talk about it? So that's Data Axle. And I'm covering this at lightning speed just to make sure that we're touching on both options that I have available to share with you guys this morning. Excuse me. So before we move on to the next one, I'd like to answer any quick questions you guys have about Data Axle.
Yes, I have a really quick one because I've jumped out while I was listening and I went out to Data Axle's website. And when you just go to the initial landing page, trying to figure out where exactly you need to go was not very clear. So, how do you get to where you are?
Okay, so from the very first login, so I'm looking at this page. To look for businesses, I'm going to hover over US businesses, click search, and
I
then click advanced search.
I don't even see that page though. Like I said, when I go to dataaxle.com,
That's your
from there,
mistake.
uh, what's that?
That's the mistake. The starting page for Data Axle depends on your local library. So what city do you live in?
So I'm in Fishers.
Okay, so let's look up Fisher's Library.
Oh, do we
So
get
here,
there through the library?
yes.
Okay.
So
All right.
from their website, we're going to look at research and learn, and we're going to go to all online databases. And now we're going to search through this list. And sometimes that's a pain. So let's see if we can find, let's look at our category. Or here we go. We could just search by text.
Yeah, guys, to get into Data Axle, you have to be a member of the library and you have to go in through the library.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me see here. And I will admit, depending on the library, it is rather difficult sometimes to locate where it is. So, Michael, how about we do this? I'm going to search off meeting to where your
Sure.
starting page would be so we don't get too bogged down in the details right now. So,
Yeah.
let's hold that conversation a little later on. Um,
Sure.
Yeah, I'm
I,
giving,
oh,
since Ryan's actually teaching us some new things, I'm giving him a little bit longer than we give normal
yeah.
speakers
Oh,
because we can all use new ways of getting leads and customers. So,
I have a real quick question, if I might, and it just tags under this.
yeah,
I live in Lawrence, and we have a couple libraries here, but they're part of the Marion County. So would
yep.
I just do Lawrence?
Yeah, so
Oh,
you're part of the Indianapolis Public Library system. In fact, you guys got that beautiful new branch on 56th Street.
yes, we do.
Uh, a quick little fact about that. So we had the manager of that branch come talk to my Rotary Club shortly after they opened. Did
Okay.
you know that that is the busiest branch of the Indy Public Library right now? More
Really?
items are checked out from that branch every month than any other branch in the system.
Wow. Wow.
So it was definitely a good choice to build that branch.
Yes. Well, very
Now,
good.
before
Okay.
before I move on, I want to talk about the consumer side of it. So those of you who don't necessarily serve businesses, but you serve individuals, you have a couple of options down here at the bottom. You have the US standard white pages. So this is just like back in the day where you'd have a telephone book where you could search for people, but to be able to use the consumer side of it to find leads, I like using the US consumers and lifestyles because this is going to tell us what people spend their money on. So get ready to be creeped out by this.
don't you
So
dare.
you don't want to know what you spend your money on?
Don't you dare.
Okay. So let's click on search. And just like on the business side, if you know the name of the person you're looking for, you could search it here, but we could go to advanced search. Now, let's talk about a use case where this would be helpful for you. Let's say you do sales in people's homes. So if you're a contractor, if you do home improvement services, anything that happens in someone's house, this is the place you're going to want to go. One thing that I always recommend that people do if they visit someone's home to transact sales is before you get in the car, go talk to that person's neighbors. But you may not necessarily know who is in those other houses. And if you just go knocking on someone's door going, "Hi, I'm Ryan and I sell this product, whatever," they're going to tell you, get the heck off my porch. But if you knock on the door and say you're looking for Michael, then you're going to go, oh, well, who are you? And now you get a chance to talk. So let's go in here, and this time, let's search by map. So we're going to pull up our map. So I check the box, I hit open map. And now this brings us the entire United States. So let's go ahead, and the same way we did with the zip code in the business search, we're going to start there. And the map is going to zoom us in. So you see about the center of the zip code there in Carmel. Excuse me. But we want to search. Oh, let's look at this little pocket over here between East Carmel Drive and 126th Street. There's a ton of houses wrapped in that area. So you can draw a shape or you could define a radius. Let's go ahead and draw a shape because we know that maybe we're meeting someone here on this street. So we want to click our boundary to be just this specific block. There we go. So once you double click at the end, you got this yellow shaded in area. That is the area we're going to search. So we click on done. And let's update our record count. 103 people are in that search area. Now, this email count here is something that is not available in their standard subscription. So if you want people's emails in this case, it does cost you some money. However, we're using this for the purpose of reaching out to neighbors of someone we've already talked to. So we click on view, and now you see the person's name, their address, their zip code, and if there's a phone number available for them, which most of these folks are not. But here's the creepy part. This is all about know your customer, right? So let's pick on somebody at random. Let's pick on Michael Keller here. And so you'll see his name, his city, his gender, his marital status, how long he's been in his home. It looks like 8 years. So we know that this is not someone who has moved recently. And then we look at neighborhood information. Estimated household income for the neighborhood is going to be 300,000 to 399,000. So these are some, pretty heavy money making folks. And then we have their census household income, 50,000 to 59.99, and their census home value. So what's their home worth? And if we look down here at lifestyle interests, we can see the categories that this person spends their money on. So this person spends money on general apparel, men's apparel, stylish men's apparel, women's apparel, beauty and cosmetics, books and magazines, plus magazine subscriptions. They're interested in gardening. They shop by catalog, child and family products. They give gifts. They purchase things on the internet. They're a general sports fan, and they use the internet. So we know the kinds of things this person spends their money on. Now, why is that important? Because each of us knows what types of things our best prospect spends their money on. So it's always helpful to know, okay, what is this person about? We can see their age, and whoa, their income says 300 to 399. Their home was built in 2017. They're married, and are their children present in the home? No. Are they a veteran? Yes. So this is what you can do with consumers. It's all about how much you know about the prospect you're trying to reach. So in this unique case, I recommend using the consumer side. If your business serves individual people directly and you're doing home visits to someone, learn something about their neighbors. Go knock on their doors before you get back in the car. Say, hey, I just helped Pavithri do whatever it is you do. And now you're making the connection because now they know their neighbors. And it's an opportunity to potentially make an extra sale before you get back in the car. All right, so let's switch over now to the second database. Now, this one's newer This one does cost some money. However, it is well worth it. This other platform, excuse me, is called Marbleism. Now, Marbleism is a new AI platform, well, newer AI platform that not only can help you find leads, but it also can help you write blogs, social media posts. There's a telephone receptionist you can forward your business number to. There's just so much fun stuff you can do with it. And if you want to learn more about it, I have a video that covers it in detail. We're just going to focus on the leads part here this morning.
Ryan,
Yes, ma'am.
you got 5 minutes.
Okay, I can make 5 minutes work. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on our sales associate. His name is Stan. So here's what you can do with Stan. If we go in and we click on our settings, we can program Stan for the types of businesses that we want to connect with. So what are their job titles? Do you want owner, founder, principal, president, manager, human resources director, sales manager, whatever that is, that type of professional that you want to meet? Just like with Data Axle, we have our industry. So you could go in and plug the industries that you want to meet. If you have a specific department that you're trying to meet your leads in, you could select that here. You could select what level of management are they? So are they middle management? Are they top management? Are they the owners? What locations do you want? So you can narrow down as little as a city. You could also do a metro area, a state, or an entire country. But unlike Data Axle, you can also search international leads with this. So you could get most of Europe and parts of Asia with this database as well. So if you do business internationally, you can add that in here. What size of companies? So the minimum number of employees you'll work with to the maximum number of employees. And then what keywords? So are you looking for newer businesses, businesses that have a grand opening or just recently opened? Are you looking for businesses that are expanding? Are you looking for businesses that are downsizing, moving, switching locations, going online? Type those keywords in there. And then finally, if you have an NAICS code or North American Industry Classification Code, you could type that in here. However, in most of our businesses, we could serve people across different industries. So many of you will just leave that field blank. Excuse me. So now that we have our parameters plugged in, we can tell Stan, find new leads, and just type it in. And you'll see Stan is thinking, and it'll take him a few minutes to find us some new leads. And if we click over to the leads screen, so since I've already been working with this platform for several months now, I've got some leads in here, and you'll see that this is the list of leads that I have been able to find. And so you'll see their name, what their title is, their company, their location, their LinkedIn profile, and an email address. So this one finds emails for you. Now, that's great if you have, if you want to go over and reach out to them directly or connect with them on LinkedIn, that's fine. But this takes it a step further. You can send that first contact out to them directly. So I have pre-set up a sequence of a couple of emails. So if I select on it, and it'll take it a second to load. So we see the starting point is new lead found. So we have an introduction email. So I'm just really quickly going to read you the email that I send to people. This keeps it short, sweet, and to the point. So, hey, lead name, if your organization serves entrepreneurs and small business owners, I'd like to introduce you to Inspiresmall.biz, a growing community built around one simple idea. Entrepreneurs shouldn't have to build their business alone. Inspiresmall.biz is a community where entrepreneurs grow, learn, and connect. Our primary audience is solopreneurs and new business owners, individuals who are just getting started, often before they've hired employees or fully built their marketing system. So, why does that matter to them? Well, these leads that I'm looking for offer services to new small business owners. So this is the hello, I group your leads into one place. So that's why they should continue reading. And in that next paragraph, I have our secondary audience. A critical part of our ecosystem is B2B organizations like yours. So I am specifying to them that their type of business is a fit that will benefit from a business relationship. And so at the bottom here, let's have a conversation. I have an online scheduling link where I encourage people to schedule coffee. Why is that easy? Now we don't have to do the back and forth of, are you available Tuesday at 3 p.m.? Are you available Wednesday at 1 p.m.? No, they could just go and they can find the time and location that works for them, or inviting them to reach out to me directly. So if they don't want to book coffee, but they want to talk, all they have to do is reply to the email. So short and sweet, the value is all about them and what they get out of the relationship. Let's be perfectly honest. People are busy. They don't care about you or what you have to offer unless they understand that you're providing them value. So keep that first message short and sweet. Last thing, you can send a follow-up message to them. So since it usually takes a couple points of contact to reach out to people, you could set up a second email. And then in this case, because you have their LinkedIn profile, I usually finish this up with sending a LinkedIn invite to them. So I am not just sending them an email, I'm sending them a LinkedIn connection request. So even if that person doesn't reach back out to me, but they accept that invite, they're still going to see my content moving forward. And everyone knows that developing a strong relationship with your prospect takes multiple points of contact, demonstrating the consistency that you're going to solve whatever problem it is that you solve. So once again, this is like 100,000
Yep.
foot overview. I'm done talking, but what I'm going to do once I shut up is I'm going to put the link in for any of you who want to sign up for Marbleism, as well as send you the video to the full tutorial that I've done on the platform.
Thank you, Ryan. All right. I'm going to figure out how to stop this recording.
How to stop it?
Yep.
Okay.
So at the bottom in your toolbar, you should see
Ah,
recording.
yep. See it.